All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Q&A live stream number 95. It is approximately 8:05 p.m. right here on the East Coast in the great state of New Jersey. Today is Monday, December 28th, 2020, and we do have a little bit to talk about today. So we're going to give people a couple of seconds to join, and then we're going to get started with our discussion. It is almost the end of 2020, so you guys know what that means. Year in review is coming out pretty soon. Again, my year in review will not be made until December 31st of 2020. So yeah, hello elevators of Steel City by Otis Elevator Fan 102. How are you? Hello Carlos Elevators 2. How are you? I'm on a cruise right now. Mr. Elevator Dude 1707. That's pretty cool. Hi, Dylan D. Jesus. How are you? Hello, Michael. How are you? So, again, today is the 28th of December. So, first of all, let me just cut to the chase. The first phase of Lord & Taylor store closures will be occurring tomorrow in New Jersey. It does include the Rockaway Town Square store and the Livingston Mall store. Both will be closing for the final time tomorrow, as well as the store in Yonkers at Ridge Hill, the Westfield South Shore store, the Walt Whitman Shops, and a couple of New York stores upstate. Connecticut tomorrow, West Farms will be closing, and the other one is the freestanding store in Stamford, Connecticut. I hope I can do that next year. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hi, Scott. How are you, man? Yeah, so the layoffs, I do apologize. I have to try and get my, 1 second, guys. All right, I hope you guys can hear me now. My apologies. I just had to do that real quick because I had to connect my AirPods to there. Yes, they closed the one in Ridgewood, I believe. Yep, unfortunately, Manhasset is closing by February of 2021. Very unfortunate. Oh, you're at Woodbridge Center? That's cool. 2 years ago today, I went to the Montville Wegmans to celebrate someone's birthday. I hope I can do it. I can do it next year. Cool. Hello, Scott. How are you? I'm leaving for Pittsburgh on Friday. I'm going to Cleveland. Normally, I would go to Parsippany where my aunt lives. She's not allowing visitors. Cleveland will be filling in. I guess that makes sense. I guess, some people are, trying to take the virus. I mean, look, COVID is a serious thing. I'm not going to come on here and say that COVID is a serious thing. Some people take it a little bit too far, though. Listen, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna call the virus. The virus ain't a hoax. I'm not. That's what I'm not about to go on here. Yes, the virus is serious. Some people do take it a little bit further than you want to be somewhere in the middle. You want to be reasonable, but also you got to find that perfect balance. And I do think with this whole pandemic this year, I think that's been very troubling for some people to find. It's not even about politics. It's finding common ground and finding sense. And some people just are carried away with the virus. That's just how I feel. But oh, good. Went to Sears at West Sunrise. Really? How'd you find out that American Eagle was closing it there at the Broadway Commons and Sunrise Mall and why? King's clothing locations. Well, they weren't really known around here, the King Supermarket. My favorite elevator at Woodbridge Center. Center Court's not the greatest. I like the seat the like elevator wise. I think the Macy's elevator with the Campton pump takes the cake there. I'm not surprised though American Eagle is closing it at Broadway Commons though. Yeah, Broadway Commons is that mall is really going downhill. I do think Sunrise is going to come back though. There's money in that area of Long Island. It's just bad management in that mall right now. But I think with the whole thing with Urban Edge, I think that's going to change. Especially considering like there's money down there, so they're definitely going to reinvent the center somehow. I heard that Bed Bath and Beyond and Bye Bye Baby are opening in the former Toys R Us in Island, New Jersey. I'm not surprised. Hold on a second. My apologies. Yeah, I'm good. Interesting. I'm pretty good. Sonic Boom. Yep, they did. And Lord and Taylor's closing tomorrow in Rockaway. Mm. I've been kind of spotty for now. I understand if it's a personal loss. Yeah, I mean, thankfully in my area we haven't lost any Bed Bath and Beyonds yet. We have two in Paramus, and we have one in Clifton, I believe. So we're not taking any losses yet. But Rockaway, I'm surprised. I'm surprised too. Although from what I'm seeing, they're like literally selling fixtures at the store, so I'm sure they're gonna start making some announcements. Yeah, I think Sears and Kmart are done next year. Hey John, how are you? And again, that's not because of the pandemic. They were already in trouble. I mean, think about it. They were closing stores left and right. It's just now Transform Co. can use the pandemic as an excuse, which is sad. Same thing that happened with Lord and Taylor. If you go on the Hudson Bay's layoffs, they were starting to lay off workers about a month. Like it was literally they were literally laying off. Just got to fix something here. Like, damn it, something dropped. Not even it just dropped. Oh, something. Put this off to the side for now. So yeah, I mean the company won't be surviving next year, and Transform Co. now is just focusing on the stores being properties. Like they're not even advertising the brands. So yeah, I will. I think that store is going to close next year. Same thing with Sears. My Christmas was pretty good. Childhood elevator, Mount Olive. Mount Olive isn't too far, but East Hanover and Newton. Although Newton, I don't think it's too far from Rockaway either. I'm still surprised though that they closed that one. I get why they closed the one in Tom's River, but Rockaway is surprising at least. No, Green Acres just sucks. That mall just sucks. And it's such in a sketchy area of Long Island too. Yeah, now Green Acres just sucks. I have no reason to go out there whatsoever. I have no desire to go there either. REI is closing one store in New York. Yes, and they're closing it, I believe, in February. It's at Ridge Hill. Ironically enough, the Lord and Taylor is closing tomorrow. How far is Parsippany from the shops at Riverside? I would say about 45 minutes if because you're going east. You're going towards the George Washington Bridge. So I would say it's probably about a 35 to 40-minute drive. I mean, if you really like ThyssenKrupp that much, it might be worth it to check out the mall. Plus, if you've seen the Shops at Crystals before, the Shops Riverside's renovation is pretty much the East Coast version of that. Except Nevada's not really on the West Coast. It's just but that both properties are owned by Simon. Yeah, I guess it was probably a leasing agreement, but I'm sure they're going to find a new location in Westchester County. I mean, REI still does relatively well, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, their final day is Thursday, February 11th, 2021. So that they must have probably not renew uh, their what's it called? They must have not been able to get the leasing agreement with the landlord, so that's probably why they're out. But that's another blow for a mall that's about to lose its Lord and Taylor as of tomorrow. They're half in there. I don't know what you mean by that. Chris, I was talking to an employee at Sears at Sunrise, and he agrees Eddie Lampert sucks. So what Sears employee would not say that Eddie Lampert sucks? I like, and then you wonder, why are you still working there? Sears is a dead end career. As much as I hate to say that, it's a dead end store. Like, I feel bad for the employees that go in every day. It's a dead end job with a dead end career, with knowing that your store is going to close. Of course, the workers are going to hate it. You think Eddie Lampert has ever had the balls of steel to step inside a decaying Sears store? I don't think so. I haven't seen one article on the internet yet where it says that he's coming in there, where that says that he's coming in to greet all the workers. Haven't seen one article yet, but let me know when there is. Hello. Um, filmed in the Grand Acres Mall. I think so. Well, yeah, I don't know. It took my family 50 minutes to get from my hotel Courtyard Marriott Parsippany to Woodbridge Center when I went. I'm surprised you didn't go to Short Hills. That's a much better choice from Parsippany. Yeah, it's a good mall, but it has a liquidating Lord and Taylor that's closing tomorrow as well. But yeah, 18. It's still a nice mall though. Oh yeah, I would take the mall at Short Hills over Roosevelt Field. Roosevelt Field isn't bad, but it's definitely more comparable to say something as Westfield Garden State Plaza. The only difference is the movie theater and the food court. The food court at Roosevelt Field is much more open, but the movie theater is much smaller there. It's the other way around at Westfield Garden State. Bigger movie theater, smaller food court. Although the food court there is pretty big, just no, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not a, yeah. I mean, Roosevelt Field's the best mall on Long Island. Yes, I can. That's a fact. I mean, it's the only mall on Long Island that has a Nordstrom full line store, and not just a Nordstrom, and not just a Nordstrom. Yes, okay. I don't even know what I was saying. Yes, it's the only mall on Long Island that has a full line Nordstrom store, and it is a full line Neiman Marcus store. It's also one of the few mall. It's one of the two malls on Long Island that still has a J.C. Penney. Has one of the best top performing Macy's stores, um, and it has one of the top performing J.C. Penney stores too. It has a Dick's, it has an Export Fitness, an amazing food court, and a bunch of array of stores and restaurants. I mean, I'm not surprised. It's Walmart. It's also somehow an essential retailer, which amazes me. I go to Woodbridge Center in Menlo Park because I live closer. Well, that makes sense if those are your two malls that are closest to you. But yeah, at the very last minute, let's hope. Um, yeah. So in regards to the Lord and Taylor, so Northbrook Court, I think was supposed to close in two phases But they added it at the last minute. I guess they just wanted to get rid of all the Illinois stores together. So tomorrow, Lord & Taylor will no longer be in the state of Illinois, the state of Maryland, and the state of New Hampshire. Meaning Lord & Taylor will still will only be operating in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. And Pennsylvania, of course. How the mall is the best and you can spend your hours there. Well, it depends on what you're looking for at Roosevelt Field. Yep, we still have an abandoned National Wholesale Liquidators in Lodi, New Jersey, although I hear it's supposed to be becoming something according to some plans I saw the other day. Ross Park Mall and the mall at Robinson. That sounds like a Taubman Mall. Yeah, I haven't been to the Mills at Jersey Gardens in a very long time. It's actually the only one of the other two IKEAs in the state of New Jersey. You got the one up in Paramus, and then you have the one in Elizabeth. That's the only one. The Elizabeth, New Jersey location is the only IKEA that's open on a Sunday because the Paramus one is closed on a Sunday because of the blue laws. Yeah, well, same story in Lodi. It's still shut down, although there is a new tenant that apparently signed on, according to Urban Edge's website. But I don't even know what they're doing with that. Be interesting to see though what they do with it. Yes, you're correct about that. About that. Oh, I did not know that. It's a little out of the way. It's it's not that I don't want to. It's a little out of the way to go to that Wegmans. Yeah, it's down the road. I just don't really have the time to go there. Plus, it's not part of the mall, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to go there. Not saying that I would, but it's also down the road, and that requires walking. Not saying I wouldn't, but it's not the easiest one to get to. Yeah, Woodbridge Center has always been an interesting mall. It's a definitely a super regional mall. Yeah, I mean it's had several anchors. Like you would think that Woodbridge Center would be in a better spot because it's the bigger mall, but Menlo Park does so much better than Woodbridge Center. Freehold though is in trouble. Livingston, in the short term, not at the moment because they have the vaccination center. But I think the mall that's really in trouble in New Jersey definitely has to be the Freehold Raceway Mall. I mean that mall's in deep crap. Well, think of it this way: they don't have they don't have a store to speak of. Um, they don't have a Nordstrom. They don't have a Lord and Taylor. They lost Sears, so you really only have Macy's and J.C. Penney. I mean, Lord and Taylor is liquidating at this point, so it's a shame. Oh, interesting. I don't know. They did open up at Smith Haven, I think. I'm not sure where they opened up though. Interesting that they would go in the same mall as Dick's Sporting Goods. Oh, they opened up on the other side of the mall. That's right. Yeah. Very like new store, very, very recent addition to the mall. I'm not surprised that they went there, but I'm in no rush to go to Smith Haven. I'm not like a huge fan of the mall. I mean, considering Sears is gone, J.C. Penney is gone. I mean, what would be the reason to go out there? Unless Macy's is going to crap the bed, there's no reason to really go out there. Hmm. I'm not surprised though. It must have been an underperformer for them. Yeah, and Woodbridge Center never really had a true food court. All it pretty much had was a bunch of restaurants, like a bunch of fast food restaurants with seating inside, but they didn't really have like a dedicated food court there at Woodbridge Center. except Macy's and Sears. But Dave and Buster's can't open up because of restrictions. So it could, although I don't know what's going to happen with Freehold. Yeah, I mean, Freehold is in deep crap. Yeah, because that's the metropolitan area in South Jersey. Plus, there's probably not demand there for it. Well, so is Staten Island Mall. Staten Island Mall was also a Rouse design. Willowbrook Mall was a Rouse property. Paramus Park was a Rouse property. Bridgewater Commons was a Rouse property, although not owned by Brookfield anymore. Brookfield was dumb to give. I think Brookfield was dumb to give up Bridgewater. I mean, that's a mall with a Macy's and a Bloomingdale's and a Sears. That was very dumb to give up. I mean, I'm sorry. Macy's, Lord and Taylor, Bloomingdale's. That was dumb for them to give it up, although they predicted the Lord and Taylor closures correctly. Still sad that that whole chain is going out and phase one is beginning tomorrow. I think that's still pretty sad. Yeah, I think Livingston Mall is adding a laser tag, I believe, probably in the old Models, because in New Jersey you can have entertainment venues open, so they're taking advantage of the restrictions. My favorite mall is Short Hills. The reason, the architecture. Taubman architecture is better than Rouse. It's not to say Rouse architecture is cool, but I prefer Taubman's Short Hills Mall. It's one of my favorites in the state. Green Acres, Make Eric, same people who own Freehold. Although I'm not 100% on that one. Ownership could have changed. I mean, that's not a good sign, but maybe that's because it's after the holidays and people are pretty much spent at this point. Although the good thing is because that's a Brookfield property, that J.C. Penney is technically safe for now. Although that could change on the flip of a dime. Although I think Livingston still has a purpose. Well, considering the Sears is going to be a vaccination center, um, they're gonna hold on. That's gonna hold on for a little bit longer, but they're gonna have to fill it with something. But you know what? I think that does give the town some time to get a plan ready in place while people are getting vaccinated. It's actually a really smart idea, believe it or not. That way, it's like a little distraction, so that at least going forward, once the population is vaccinated, they can think about what to put in there next, like as a permanent tenant. Have you ever heard of Checkers restaurants? Of course I have. We don't have any nearby. Typically, they're in like sketchy areas of New Jersey. My favorite mall, yeah, that's mine too. Yeah, Westfield Garden State Plaza is pretty nice, but nothing beats the mall at Short Hills, South Hills Village. Oh, interesting. Wow, 1965. That's pretty cool. Um, I mean, Roosevelt Field's layout, it's okay. It's not like, okay, yeah, it's got a food court, but it's not like the great mall. It's okay. It definitely serves its purpose, but it's not the great mall that that everybody talks about. Yeah, it's the only mall on Long Island, but it's okay. It's like another Westfield Garden State Plaza, except add Bloomingdale's, which is not closing, and add Lord and Taylor, which is. So the good news is Roosevelt Field is not going anywhere, nor is it losing a tenant right now. Although Westfield Garden State Plaza is, but I'm sure the mall is going to be more than eager to redevelop that whole area. And considering that Lord and Taylor won't be there anymore, that'll be the perfect chance to do so. I'm not surprised either with the whole Lord and Taylor leadership. It was poor. It was poor leadership, and the thing with Lord and Taylor was back in February they started laying off workers, so the end was coming. They needed See, the thing is, they needed the perfect excuse. Oh, hard cheese only. I don't know what that means. How was your Christmas? It was pretty good. And hi, Joe. How are you? I did not know that Checkers is doing a study. That's interesting that they're doing one over there, Parsippany, Hanover, and Morristown. Oh, well, that's a shame. Anyways, getting back to Lord and Taylor. So Lord and Taylor, back in February was no, Tubman's getting bought by Simon. No, they won't do an outlets. You have the Deer Park outlets, and you have what's it called? You got the outlets out in Riverhead. So no, I don't think so. Why doesn't Westfield Garden State Plaza have a Primark or Boscov's? We have a Primark in American Dream, and I don't think Boscov's likes getting that close to New York City. Their limit is Woodbridge Center. I think that's about as far as they're going to get to the New York City area. Two things will happen. Number one, Simon will absolutely say goodbye to Livingston, and I think what Simon did to Riverside, that's exactly what they're going to do to the mall at Short Hills. Although they could do a much very different renovation. Yep, tomorrow is the final day for for the first fleet of Lord and Taylor stores. Tomorrow, yep, all the 18 out of 38 are closing tomorrow. Okay, have fun. We don't know yet, although there is new stores that are trickling in just now. I believe there was another one that was announced today, but I don't think any in New Jersey, at least. Lima Mall's closing. There was one that was announced today, I think, the past 24 hours. I'm not sure, though. I can't remember. I've never heard of Price Chopper. Yep, Michigan and Florida. That's in phase two that they're closing those stores. But as I was saying about Lord and Taylor, yeah, the problem was back in February, and this was a month before the pandemic hit. So back in February, nobody was predicting the COVID-19 pandemic. Lord and Taylor already started laying off workers. For an example, they let go of 100 people at the Garden City and Manhasset stores, and they were saying, your job's not here anymore. You're terminated as a worker. So, I mean, clearly from reading those things on the form of the Hudson Bay's layoffs, we saw that Latote pretty much said, you know what, we can't do this. We're going to have to start laying off workers. So they were already beginning the process. It's just they needed to find the perfect excuse for it. And all of a sudden, guess what comes along 1 month later when everything is shut down because of the COVID-19 pandemic? That's where Lord and Taylor gets to use an excuse, and that's where they put their excuse. So no, their excuse was not because of the pandemic. It was because they were starting to lay off workers, and the perfect excuse, which was the COVID-19 pandemic, came along, and they were able to candy coat that, and say that is the reason why all their stores are closing. So unfortunately, they were already laying off people. So clearly, Latote was just horrible with Tote. They started laying off people, and it's a shame. It's a real shame that Latote's leadership could not be able to turn the retailer around, and they took on someone else's problem. They just wanted it for the real estate, and they wanted an East Coast presence, but clearly that strategy flopped, and it flopped quick. I'll just be like, I'm not surprised. We knew that Chapter 7 was coming. Is the Lord and Taylor in Westfield one of the stores that's closing tomorrow? No, but the Lord and Taylor store at the Westfield South Shore Mall is closing tomorrow. That's one of the Lord and Taylors at a Westfield property, but the one in the township of Westfield is closing in the second phase. What would happen if Lord and Taylor deactivated its website like Century 21? They won't. They were bought by the Sadia Group LLC, and they're going to be continuing as an online business only. I tell them you ran a company right into the ground. Depends on what's going on with me, but I try to do it once or twice a week. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised. It's coming. I mean, Chapter 7 for Sears is coming. I mean, look at the number of their stores they have. The problem is they don't have stores in a certain area, and their fleet is going to keep dwindling. So it's over for Sears and Kmart. I mean, if you're looking for a career there, you're looking at a dead end. That is a dead end job. Lord and Taylor at this point is just people and representatives from Hilco Merchants. Century 21 is done. They're no longer in business. And my old university actually offered opportunities to go work at a Century 21 in Morristown, and now those opportunities are gone. It's a shame. But if S.S. Kresge was still around, I think the Kmart stores would have been there. Would have been. Yeah, I think they would have been reinvented in a different way if it was kept as a family business. 61, yeah, they're done next year. They'll close another 20, and then once they get down to Lord and Taylor's number, yeah, all of them will liquidate at that point. I can't say this enough. Eddie Lampert has to be fired from Transform Co. for stealing billions of dollars from big money from Kmart and Sears and Roebuck. The problem is Eddie Lampert is the largest stakeholder. What that means is he's the one and he's the boss, the big cheese that makes all the decisions for Sears and Kmart. And he's also part of Transform Co. Properties, so he's not going anywhere, unfortunately. He is the reason why those stores are still open today. Does it suck that he milked on the real estate? Of course, but he's the reason why those stores are still operating. It's because of him. Nobody would have dragged this out for long. Sears should have been gone 2 years ago. They should have closed all their stores 2 years ago. But it is the world's slowest liquidation. I mean, they've been liquidating stores since like 2013 or 2012. That I don't know. Hello, Chris. I'm going to Myrtle Beach next summer. Do you think Myrtle Beach will be in good shape, in terms of COVID? I think so. Yeah, no, I think by then the population will be vaccinated, so I think you'll be in pretty good shape for that. Sam Lord and George Taylor would be upset if they could see Lord and Taylor today. Yeah, I mean, three different companies took on Lord and I mean four rather. May Company, um, didn't do a good job with them. Uh, they also got screwed with what was the other company that they got screwed with? I don't even know. Oh, they got screwed with Hudson Bay, which ran them right into the ground. And then Latote came in like just bad leadership and no real direction for those stores. And the stores, because of the leadership, um, suffered because there was really no, main derogative for the stores. There was no, clear direction. You had leadership changing. Sorry, you had leadership changing at those stores left and right. There was always new leadership, and then leadership took it in this direction and that direction. And because leadership was all over the place, it was a recipe for disaster. And not only that, you add on the current ongoing COVID-19 global pandemic, and it's a recipe for disaster. Same thing, unfortunately, was for Century 21, but they kept it very, very under reps. And honestly, they weren't struggling, but they were laying off people last year. But they were able to keep it afloat because people were still coming in. But Lord and Taylor, I mean, it is so depressing to walk through. the stores. I mean, I'm probably going to visit maybe one or two more, but it's depressing. And most of it now, it's just from the sorry, the liquidators, which is Hilco Merchants. That's just pretty much bringing in whatever inventory there. The first Sears to close on Long Island, Westfield South Shore. That was the first Sears to ever close on Long Island. That was the first Sears. The second Sears was the one near Huntington. Excuse me. Then it was Garden City, and then it was Smith Haven. Only two left on the island, Sunrise Mall and Green Acres Mall. Yeah, Nordstrom has pretty good products, especially Nordstrom Rack. I have a couple of things. I actually have a Vineyard Vine shirt that I got from Nordstrom's Rack. It's not no, Nordstrom is not a dead end company. It's unfortunate that the Freehold location closed. Yes, that is really depressing, and I'm kind of upset that it wasn't saved. But the point is they still have good products, and it's not really a dead end company. You still have Nordstrom's Rack, which does relatively well for them. Have you seen the second video that Jake Williams posted about Kmart recently? You forgot Sears next to Broadway. No, there's only two on Long Island. There's Green Acres and Sunrise. Those are the only two on Long Island. I don't count Queens or Brooklyn. I'm sure that'll be filled pretty quickly considering how well that mall does. The first Sears and Roebuck to close in New Jersey, the Watchung location back in 2017. I've been to a lot of Nordstrom stores too. I have not been to the Cherry Hill one though. I've been to about four. They're pretty relatively nice. I've been to Westfield Garden State, the mall at Short Hills, Menlo Park, Freehold Raceway Mall, and I think the one out in Las Vegas. I have yet to go to Cherry Hill, and Cherry Hill is a bitch to get to from here because it's near like Philadelphia. Have you seen the second? Yep, I did see that. I saw the very good production by Jake Williams about Kmart. Like he does a really good job. He needs to do Lord and Taylor like ASAP. That I would love to see that one from him. Kmart was pretty good. That was an unexpected surprise, and I really liked that from him. I enjoyed that one. But he really needs to do Lord and Taylor. It's the thing is, it's such a good story. Like he cannot just ignore that. That is such a good story. Yes, he needs to do Sports Authority. Yes, he needs to do Models. But I think Lord and Taylor would be a wonderful episode for Abandon. But we'll see what he has in store. Maybe he'll do another ship. Who knows? Oh! I know which one you're thinking of. I know which one. Yep, the Sears in Hicksville. I forgot about that one. Yeah, Hicksville is such a sketchy area. Hate to say. Yeah, that's right. And you know what? That one was similar to what's it called? Watchung, because both had a mural and then they had an elevator. Yeah, there's that 50s design where they had the store in the basement. That Sears was similar to Watchung and New Brunswick, which Middlesex County had two of them and they closed literally at the same time. That's right. I forgot about Sears and Hicksville. Yeah. I knew about Macy's and Broadway. Yeah. Sad to see that one close. Do you miss Sports Authority? Not really, but I did have a $50 gift card that I needed to use before the entire company went out. I'm not surprised personally, and those stores weren't really anything special. It was really just a crappier Dick's Sporting Goods, pretty much. It was somewhere between a Model Sporting Goods and a Dick's Sporting Goods. Wasn't one of my favorite stores, but we had a lot of Sports Authorities. At least where I am, I think we had like four Sports Authorities. Short Hills or Menlo Park. Ooh, they're both very good. Schindler wise, Short Hills. Although Short Hills is pretty comparable to King of Prussia. Otis wise, I'm gonna have to give this one a Freehold just because of the cab design. Yeah, the Nordstrom's elevator is an Elevonic, but I prefer the Freehold locations elevator over the Menlo Parks. Sadly, I've only been to that one twice, 2013 and then 2020 when they ran the fixture liquidation. No, it was a freestanding Sears and Roebuck store. Yeah, and American Dream was going to be their flagship too, but everything was canceled with that, unfortunately. But I wouldn't be surprised if the mall does like like an expansion plan. Not in New Jersey or New York. Maybe one in Connecticut, but I'm and Rhode Island, but I'm not sure. I'm just checking warrant notices because sometimes they post. Oh wow, Marriott Hotel in Newark. Hmm. Oh wow, are they closing the Marriott in Newark? That would be devastating if they did. Sounds like 76 people are getting laid off at the Marriott. That'd be quite sad. I mean, I'm not surprised. Tourism is down. Yeah. Um, my Christmas was good, thank you. Models, Concord, unfortunately, but it really depends on who built the stores. Sears New Hyde Park. Oh yeah, Sears New Hyde Park. Yeah, that's becoming a Target, I believe. Oh, okay. I prefer the freehold elevator just because of the cab design. It's not to say I don't like Menlo Park. Menlo Park is still nice, but that one didn't have its third floor closed off. No, that was a Westinghouse. That was definitely not a Burlington Dover. If there was any Burlington Dover Macy's, that's Brunswick Square. Definitely not Menlo Park. Destiny USA is up in upstate New York, and I don't really live near there, so it is in New York, yes, but it's in a different metropolitan area, which is nowhere near here. Um, what? I don't know why. Yeah, well, you should have, but I wasn't going there for ThyssenKrupp. Oh, okay. Oh, happy birthday to your grandmother. Oh, did Century 21 finally take their website down? No, they did not. Still has that picture. Oh, is Lord and Taylor's website finally down? Let me see. Or maybe that's just Chrome. No, Lord and Taylor says they're still taking a quick holiday break, but the good news is I was able to get a store tour of Rockaway, and my friend got his tour of Livingston. So the good news is we're good there at least. Um, Yonkers just no time, and I don't know why the other ones didn't get a store tour, but who knows? I think so, but because of how decent that mall does, it won't be vacant for long. Nordstrom could very well look into moving to Bridgewater, personally. especially if they want to get out of Menlo Park. Personally, they should have closed Menlo Park over Freehold. I think closing Freehold was a bad. That was the wrong decision. No, that was a Westinghouse. No, that was a Westinghouse. That was never a Houghton. Yes, they both have EPCO inch line buttons, but no, those are very different elevators. You could say two similar ones. You could compare that to like Paramus Park. The only difference between the Paramus Park Macy's and the Westfield Garden State Plaza Macy's is the Westfield Garden State Macy's is traction and the Paramus Park Macy's is hydro. No, the Willowbrook Willowbrook is Houghton hydraulic, or some new generic hydraulic that I don't even know. I think it's Schindler. Schindler probably did the mod because Macy's has a contract with Schindler. It might be. It depends if Saks is around. It depends if Hudson Bay even sees value in that brand. They could very well call it quits on that brand next year too. And boy, that would be sad if that went away. Hold on one second. If you want to talk about a decent motor replacement, you can talk about Macy's at Brunswick Square. Not to say that Willowbrook wasn't a solid replacement, and I'm glad they kept the original Houghton buttons, but Macy's Brunswick Square takes the cake on that. Oh my God, this cookies are so good. Yep, it is a traction. That's a traction, and the Freehold one's a hydraulic because that was a '90s Macy's, although it was supposed to be an Abraham and Strauss at one point. Depends. It depends specifically on the store. That and the property owner. Bloomingdale's won't go away because it's part of Macy's. Saks, I don't really know because they're part of Hudson Bay, which just recently closed their store in Canada. So Saks right now is on some shaky ground. But they might make it out of the pandemic, but who knows? Although we do know that Lord & Taylor, Century 21, and Pier 1 Imports did not make it. But anyways. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream here. So thank you guys for watching, and that's it.